Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, God, I'm doing this, folks. I'm not going to lie. This is a very Canadian episode. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is definitely the case today. I was aware that I was aware that it existed, and I was aware that it had made its return, south of the Canadian border. So, but I wasn't actually looking for it yet. I figured it was going to take a little bit longer. But I went over there, I got off of work, I decided to pop on out to the Walgreens real quick, I just wanted to grab, a few snacks and stuff. And I was perusing around, and like a moose drinking maple syrup, there it was, and it happened to be, what are we doing here, folks? It's boom! It's Ruffles, all dressed up. Unlike myself. It is a limited time flavor here in the continental United States, because of course, up in our neighbors to the north area in Canada, this is like one of their go-to flavors. For some reason, and it's been introduced down here on a few occasions, but always as a limited thing, and it's never really seemed to quite hook, us Americans quite the same way that our Canadian brethren, seem to enjoy it, at least to the same level. But for me personally, I know I've had these in the past, and I've always really enjoyed them. But it has been a few years since I've had them, and it's got a thing that says all dressed up. It is the #1 Ruffles flavor in Canada. Ooh. And what does all dressed up mean? Find out on the back. I bet you're wondering what all dressed up means. After all, in America, it just means you're wearing all your clothes. Not exactly. But in Canada, all dressed actually means deliciously rich chips that somehow taste salty, sweet, or salty, savory, and sweet all at the same time. Sounds good, eh? Canada. Let's get a thing for a thing it looks like. Can we get a thing? It's probably going to be better on this side. Yeah, that's going to work better. We're going to do like this. Ha 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 ha! Let's give it a go. Now, folks, you know it's coming if you watch my show. Here's the bag, right? I have not taken a single chip out of the bag. About the size of my head. I got a big head, right? With no chips taken out, that is how many chips we are actually getting. It's nice to know that even Canada's fucking us too, so... Well, Ruffles or whatever. But anyway. Chip. Still like them. Still really tasty. Kind of reminds me, the closest thing I could say to somebody who's never had them, kind of like a barbecue chip, but a little bit different. I would say maybe going a little bit closer still, maybe like a honey barbecue, because you definitely do have that sort of tanginess, but then there is sort of a sweetness to it. But it does beg mentioning that it is not like a direct one-to-one. It is definitely its own unique flavor. And I will say, I love Ruffles. So I'm actually a big fan of the fact that they're the ones putting these out. If I ever go over there and get chips and dip, Ruffles are always my chips. Always. They're the best chips for dip. Because, yeah. Again, kind of like a barbecue, but definitely one with its own personality. I like at the very front of it. There's a tangy, almost like slightly vinegary kind of aspect to it, So right off the bat, it's kind of hitting your taste buds, giving them something interesting to work with. And then pretty quickly, it sort of mellows out a little bit, and then again, it kind of takes on almost a honey barbecue kind of flavor. Though I do have to mention, it's not crazy sweet or anything like that. Like they said on the thing, it's salty, savory, and sweet. And I would say, yeah, I think it's all of those things, and I would say that they're in a nice balance. Like, you definitely do get sort of peaks and valleys to a certain extent, but the overall experience is a fairly homogeneous one. It's really nice. Let's do this like a proper American. I apologize to our Canadian friends, but we're doing this American style, and here in America, we eat multiple chips at the same damn time. I don't know if that's what you guys do, but... yeah. It's a little bit zesty. Has a little bit of a savory hit again. Kind of along the lines of a barbecue chip. And just kind of a mild sweetness that sort of goes throughout it. But yeah, really good, really tasty. Like, I remembered enjoying these, and I definitely still do. I think that these are really nice. It's one of those things where, like, I genuinely wish that here in the United States, we could make the all dressed up chips a thing. Like, I wish that they would really take hold here, because they're really tasty. I think probably the problem we run into, aside from the naming convention being a little bit, non-familiar here in America, but beyond that, I think part of the problem we might run into is it has to compete against barbecue chips. And I don't know how prevailing barbecue chips are in Canada. Maybe maybe they get the same ones we do, maybe they don't. But obviously here in America, barbecue is a whole culture, and it's just a thing. That's hard to compete against, especially if you're coming at it with something called all dressed up. But that said, I do like them, and I really like the uniqueness of their flavor. Again, somewhat familiar, but just unique in their own way. But 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get them again? Would I recommend them? Absolutely. And absolutely. I think that, for me personally, I really enjoy these. Every time I've had them, I've really liked them. And, I think for me, it's like, pretty much every time they come around, they make that announcement, I'm getting at least one bag. I'm not going to overdo it, but, because again, I already like barbecue chips, so it's a somewhat similar experience, but I really do like just that quintessential flavor profile that these have, that separates them, makes them so unique, and so beloved. I fully get it, Canada. I really do understand why you like these so much, because I think they're really good too. And I would definitely get them again. If I'm recommending, that's where it really comes into play. I'm a dirty fat guy, right? Oh, is Brandon going to get them again? Well, right. But to you fine folks who maybe haven't tried these before, I would say absolutely give them a shot. I'm not saying that they're necessarily going to replace your favorite flavor of chip. And again, they are going to be maybe a little bit familiar to you. Again, the flavor profile isn't a million miles away from stuff that we have here in the United States. But it definitely does have its own flavor. It definitely has its own personality. And taking that a step further, especially with it being a limited time thing, I would say absolutely. Get out there and get you some. I think it was like less than $2 for the bag. And, worst case scenario, pay $1 something for a bag. Maybe they're not your favorite thing in the world. Maybe you go over there and you go across the border and pick a fight with a Mountie over it. But the Mountie's going to beat your ass. That's their job, right? They're a Mountie. I'm not fucking with a Mountie. So, but no, they're genuinely really good. And I do think that, especially if you already enjoy like barbecue potato chips, I'd say give them a go. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, have themselves a truly all dressed up tastic rest of your life. I could have gone over there and could have worn my suit, my tie. I don't have a suit and tie. I have a jacket. I do have a jacket, to be fair. I don't wear it for anything, but I have it if I ever need it. Final 2 things. Number 1, Try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But, well, you can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your opinion on the all-dress stuff? Especially if you're from Canada. Like, I know it's a Canadian thing, and, it even says on the thing, it's the #1 thing. But I'm sure there's people in Canada who, it's probably not their deal. But even beyond that, if you're not Canadian or what have you. And what are some other, regional style chips that, maybe aren't super widespread that you're a big fan of? Who knows? Maybe I'll go over there and I'll look into them, see if I can go over there and review them. So I'm always trying out interesting stuff. But anyway,